Cool.
Hello, my name is Calum and this is my evaluation for my A2 portfolio. For my portfolio I made a modified car magazine, content page and double page spread. I decided to put a slant on the traditional regional magazine being about travel and food because my research showed me the readership circulation figures for a magazine like this was actually quite low. In other words, because car magazines have a higher readership, I thought making a regional car magazine would make more profit than a marketing regional magazine pitched at upper class tourists, because there was a higher demand for a different and more interesting product. Who would be the audience for your media product? My primary and secondary research showed me that primary target audience for a regional car magazine would be people in social grades E to C, aged between 15 and 30, of any ethnic origin, of straight men but open to any sexual orientations, from any country as long as they live in Cornwall. The gender of my target audience would be primarily men but could also include women. The secondary target audience of my product would be more affluent people and women. What conventions did I follow or challenge? I found that the cover of modified car magazines tended to be slang text, plain free colour theme that blends with the main image, easy to read text, one main image with the exception of special edition issues, big bold headings and strong colours, not washed out ones. Fast Car magazine follows these as it has a very big bold masthead that sits at the top of each issue. The magazine covers use language appropriate to the audience, using words such as slammed, which means the car is very low, tucked, which means the wheels are tucked inside the arches, and dailies, which means the car is driven every day. This convention helps attract the target audience and deter people who are not in the target audience, as this type of slang is only used in car modification, almost like another language to people who are not interested in it. This also means that the people that know about these slang terms also feel smarter for knowing the slang than the people that don't. Engine codes are also used, especially on magazines such as Total Vauxhall, as it is specific to a certain type of car. There is usually one image on the front cover on the magazine which fills the entire page with the car in the middle of it. The car is usually taken at the corner of the car, avoiding eye level, so sometimes it is aimed with the camera looking down on the car, and others it is aimed looking up at the car. One of the magazines I looked at was Fast Car, which was set up in the 80s and is the biggest, most popular magazine of its genre. This magazine tends to follow these conventions unless it is a special issue, in which it tends to have more images on the cover and sometimes a sticker pack with it. Another magazine I looked at was Total Vauxhall. This was to see a magazine that specified in something, like mine will be specific to a location, but this is specific to a brand of car rather than a location. The front cover of Total Vauxhall shares the same type of common conventions as Fast Car, as they are the same genre of magazine. The only difference is Performance Vauxhall specialises in modified Vauxhalls, whereas Fast Car does any make of modified car. Neither magazines, however, are regional like mine will be, so I also looked at regional magazines like Cornwall Today to find out how to make it obvious the magazine is for people in Cornwall. Although the style is wrong because the target audience is totally different to mine, looking at Cornwall Today taught me that using colour relating to the Cornish flag and Cornish locations in images represent Cornish people. I used all the common conventions I saw on Fast Car and Total Vauxhall to make sure the genre was obvious, but also used Cornish settings and the colours of the flags to show that it was regional. I also used Run to the Sun as a story because it's the biggest Cornish car event. For my main image I used a photo of my car on a Cornish country road. The shot was a medium long shot using an unusual angle to make my magazine look exciting and different. I had a free colour theme, big masthead, which is colour coded to the magazine cover. I turned my main image black and white, keeping the colour of the car blue, so that the colour theme worked well. To keep the colour theme, I used blue banners with white text to create the headings on the front cover. My magazine cover follows most of the common conventions that fast car use for their front covers. The contents pages of modified car magazines usually contain lots of pictures, one being a big one at the top of the page with smaller ones below, leaving room for the text by the sides. This is a convention of fast car and total voxel, and the basic layout of the majority of modified car magazines. The contents pages have very little text on them, and the images have page numbers on them. This is so that it appeals to the target market that would rather do as little reading as possible and just get the bits they want to look at. This means that the readers can scan the page and see what they want to read quickly whilst getting all the information that they need. The background is usually a colour like black, but very little background shows as it's mainly covered in images. This is another convention of fast car magazine. The text on the contents is always easy to read and tends to stick to the colour theme of the front page. The text has headings to split up the information and makes it easier to find information, as well as providing page numbers, etc. The contents title is usually big, bold and easy to read at the top of the page. It varies across magazines, as some have horizontal titles and others have vertical ones. Fast Car magazine usually colour codes the title to the colour theme of the cover and contents page. Some magazines also have a slogan underneath the contents page title in a different colour to the title itself. The images on the contents page vary in angles, location and type of picture quite a lot, which separates them from each other. These are conventions again of fast car and magazine for modified cars. This genre of magazine follows these conventions even if they have certain types of styles or car that is in the magazine. My contents page doesn't follow the conventions of fast car, as I haven't used very many images on my contents page, but I have used the same angles and types of images that they have used. My contents page follows conventions with the text and page numbered images. I have a small amount of text which is easy to read, along with a page number. My text follows the colour theme that has been set by my front cover. The images that I do have on the contents page follow conventions by having page numbers on them. This reduces the amount of text on my contents page and makes it easier to find information without actually reading. My contents page mainly follows conventions of fast car and total voxel. However, my contents page contains less images. I did this because I wanted mine to look more grown up, to make it stand out from the competitors. I think it will represent my target audience because it is what my target audience asked to see when I did my SurveyMonkey. The feature spread for modified car magazines are fairly plain and simple. They tend to have a colour theme of 3 colours which match the colours of the car that is being featured. The feature spread usually contains around 3 images, one main one filling both pages and 2 smaller ones. This is a convention of this genre of magazine used by fast car, total voxel and Japanese performance magazine. The main images of the whole car taken from the corner of the car, and the smaller images are more detailed pictures of the car and car parts. The feature spread also has a big bold title which matches the colour theme of the feature spread. This is also a common convention of fast car and total voxel. The text on the feature spreads are usually around 3 to 4 columns of easy to read font and colour, which matches into the colour theme of the feature spread. The text usually includes modifications to the car, work gone into it and spec and power of the car featured, as well as any special features of the car, which can be from engine parts to custom made or moulded body panels. The text contains slang relating to the type of car and genre of magazine, so people that are into cars and modification, making them feel smart about what they are reading, as they recognise the technical terms and slang used when modifying cars, such as engine codes, brands, slang terms, etc. The whole feature spread tends to be very clean and simple, easy to read and nice to look at, with a simple colour theme and uncluttered layout, making it easy to view the page and read the information. This is a convention of both fast car and total voxel. A lot of this genre of magazine share this convention. My feature spread follows these conventions that I have found from Fast Car and Total Voxel, containing one main image and 3 smaller images accompanied by 3 columns of text. The whole feature spread has a colour theme of 3 colours which match the colour of the car. Overall, my feature spread follows the conventions that I have found from Fast Car and Total Voxel. There aren't many billboards for this genre of magazine, but the ones that are around tend to have the name of the magazine very big and bold across the top of the billboard, with a picture of a car at an angle with the wheel turned towards the camera. It will also have a flared out stack of magazines at the bottom corner of the billboard, along with the magazine's logo across the bottom of the billboard. It will usually have a 3 colour theme again, will be very clean, simple, easy to read and uncluttered. My billboard follows these conventions as it has one main image filling the billboard, a colour theme of 3 colours matching the car, the title of the magazine big at the top and a flared out stack of magazines in the bottom corner. For my website, I looked at Cornwall Today for the regional side but decided not to research this as it has no relevance to my magazine other than the location aspect. Instead, I looked at Fast Car and Stance Nation. Both websites have some sort of background which changes every now and again to keep the website looking different and interesting to regular visitors. The websites have a page of images with text to accompany to explain what the page is for. This means there is very little text on the home page. The web pages tend to have a lot of big images leading to other pages and not being full of text. The pages that the links link to are usually a page with a lot of images of a car accompanied by some text explaining what is in the image. Other links contain a page with a video embedded, which is either a video of a car meet or a video version of a feature car to give you a more in-depth look at the car. The websites tend to not have a strong colour theme as there is a lot of different images and text, but they do usually have a coloured background or image of a car as the background on the pages of the website. I have followed these conventions in my website by having little text and a lot of images. I have my big bold title at the top left of my magazine. I have followed these conventions in my website by having little text and a lot of images. I have a big bold title at the top of my website which doesn't follow the conventions of Stance Nation, which put the title at the top middle of the web page. I thought that mine wouldn't look right using this method as the layout of my page is different to Stance Nation. I have a background on my website, but it is a very subtle white and grey one so that my magazine isn't too offensive to the eyes. My magazine roughly follows the conventions set by Stance Nation, but follows more closely to the Fast Car website.